Yeah, so Altman is very much he's a product of Silicon Valley. His career was spent entirely in the Valley. He first was the founder of another startup called Looped that was essentially a competitor to Foursquare, a mobile-based social media company that predated Foursquare actually, but ended up not doing very well. He then became the president of Y Combinator, most prestigious startup accelerator in the Valley, and then he became the CEO of OpenAI, and he was also the co-founder of the company. So he came up with the idea when he was the president of YC. And it's important to understand this part of his background because he his personality is one that was both shaped by Silicon Valley and also one that succeeds in the Valley. So his greatest skill is that he's really good at telling stories about the future, which in the Valley is the most important skill really for getting to the top. And because of his ability to not just tell stories, but also understand human psychology very well, he is really good at two things. One, fundraising a lot of money, and two, persuading people to join him on a particular quest, recruiting talent towards that quest. And so he is effectively very good at consolidating a lot of resources to build the vision of the future that he has. He's also a very polarizing figure in that he is seen by some people as the greatest technology leader of our generation, akin to Steve Jobs of this era, and seen by others as a manipulator, a liar, an abuser. And what I realized through reporting the book and interviewing a lot of people who had different perspectives about him was that it really came down to what they saw as their vision for the future. If you have an alignment with Altman's vision, this if you agree with the idea of blitz scaling AI models and you agree with this kind of hegemonic approach to AI development, then he's a phenomenal asset to achieving the shared vision that you both have. And therefore, all of his persuasive abilities, his storytelling abilities, his fundraising and recruiting abilities are things that you love, you see as just the perfect um uh, strengths to have on your side. But if you have a totally different vision of the future, then he becomes the greatest threat because then his persuasive abilities are successfully taking resources away from the vision of the future that you want. And potentially his persuasive abilities are even leading you to assist or aid in a future that you ultimately don't believe in. So a lot of people end up leaving a relationship with Altman, whether leaving an employee of one of his companies or other relationships, feeling like they were somehow used by him to achieve something that was antithetical to their own values and what they actually wanted.